What can you see? We've got some, yep, we do. We have some sticks. What other things can you see? Leaves, that's right, lots of leaves. What colour are all the leaves? Yep, some are brown. What other colours can you see? Yep, some are yellow, well done. And what colour is this one? Green. What does that tell you about what time of year it is? Yeah, you would call it autumn. Yeah, it is autumn, isn't it? Because the leaves are starting to fall. Do you remember when we were walking, we talked about the Aboriginal people that lived on this land a long time ago, and some of them still do live here now? Yeah? Well, a long, long time ago, before there were houses and buildings, the Aboriginal people then lived on this land, and they used to use the trees to tell them what season it was. Yeah, how do you think that they would be able to tell what season it was just by looking at the trees? What would the trees be doing? So it's warm and sunny, and all of a sudden the trees are starting to change colour. What's that going to tell them when they change from nice and green to yellow? Yeah, it's getting colder. What other things could the trees, could the leaves do to show them that it was getting colder? What would they do? What did we see them do today as we were walking? They would fall, that's right, they'd fall from the trees. So it would tell the Aboriginal people that they could use the environment around them to tell them what time of the year it was and what they needed to do in order to keep themselves warm and safe. What do you do to keep yourself warm? Put a jacket on? Yeah, you can put a jacket on. What about at home? What do you switch on? The heater, don't you? Well, everybody here now, all the Aboriginal people living here now, a lot of them would have heaters so they could keep themselves warm like we do. But a long time ago, before anybody else was here, they didn't have heaters. So what would they make? What would they do to keep themselves warm? They could make fire. Yeah, they could make fire, couldn't they? So they would make fire, and the trees might tell them when the leaves were starting to fall, that it might tell the Aboriginal people that, oh, it's starting to get cold now. We need to get some wood together. We need to find something warmer to put on ourselves to keep. We might need to move and find some more shelter before it starts to rain a lot. Yeah, that's right. And we have, what, 4 seasons in our calendar? What are our 4 seasons that we always talk about? Yep, summer. What comes after summer? Yeah, autumn. And then winter. Yeah, and then what comes after winter? When all the flowers start to bloom. Spring, that's right. We'd have spring too, wouldn't we? Well, the Aboriginal people that still live around on the land here in Melbourne, the Wurundjeri people today, they have come up with a seasons calendar of their own for the area of Melbourne, and they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different seasons. So they say there's early winter, which is when we are now, when it's just starting to get cool and still a little bit misty in the morning. Do you know what misty is? It's when you can see that fog and you just can't quite see, and you know it's really cold. Yeah? And the birds are flying away to find somewhere warmer to live. And then they say in June, it goes through, next we're going to have deep winter. So where it's cold and wet and there's rough seas out in the Gulf. Yeah, it'll be really cold. We'll have to wear our gumboots and our raincoats. What do you think the Aboriginal people used to wear? Yeah, they might have had big coats as well. I don't know whether they had gumboots. Not like you guys do, you're pretty lucky. And then after we finished our winter, we're going into pre-spring when it's starting to get a little bit warmer and the flowers and birds are starting to nest. And then we have true spring, where it's warm, sometimes wet and windy, but all the flowers are starting to come out. And then they say it's high summer, when it's warm to hot. We have lots of grasslands growing tall and the birds are feeding their babies. And then we have late summer, where it's hot and humid. Sometimes there's thunderstorms. So we might have four seasons on our calendars at home, but the Wurundjeri people have looked at the environment and they've watched the environment around them. Watch when the tree leaves are falling, watch what's happening with the birds and the grasses and the seas, and they've come up with 6 seasons in our year for here in Melbourne. Yeah, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? 6 seasons. It's pretty cool. So come on, let's go and take all of our leaves, and maybe we can use some of our leaves to work out some of the seasons on the Wurundjeri Seasons